Well, are you inspired when you're immersed in nature? 3 Saskatchewan singer-songwriters feel nature can feed creativity. For the past year, they've been passing that philosophy on to a group of high school students. The result of their time together can be heard at a show in Regina this coming Saturday. One of the 3 musicians is Megan Nash, and one of the students is Kieran Sheard, and they're both in studio with me. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having us in.
Well, it's such a great story, and we did it way back when the whole project started. But for people who missed that, Megan, maybe just remind people how this project came about.
Sure. Well, from my involvement came from Glenn Suter reaching out to me. Glenn and I had done a couple similar songwriting workshops over the years, never together, but we had kind of crossed paths through the songwriter community like that. And then he asked me if I'd like to be a facilitator, and I said, sure. And this program is through the Royal Saskatchewan Museum. And it was just a really neat opportunity to explore the Last Mountain Lake.
Yeah, you guys went out there twice, right, Kieran?
Yeah. That's correct,
What made you, when you heard about it, Kieran, what made you want to be a part of this?
I really wanted to be a part of it because I've always been really into music, and I thought it would be a great opportunity to expand my knowledge on writing and maybe improve my skills.
And tell us about the area of Last Mountain Lake where you guys went.
Well, Last Mountain Lake it's a beautiful area. I don't know if you can speak about your experience there, but there's that lookout to space. There's the lakes there. We got to see a lot of different kind of birds. The space itself acts as a really it's early in the morning for me, CJ.
Musicians in the morning. It's always a challenge.
There's lots of birds migrating through there. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And so it was really cool to see a lot of different types of birds doing their thing really early in the morning. Really early.
So tell us about your experience. You went out there twice, right?
Yes.
And so, Kieran, tell us about your experience. What happened the first time and what happened when you went back?
The first time, it was really weird at first because none of us knew each other. So it's just quiet and, really awkward. But then we, kind of, got out to the fire and, started, singing and playing. And, we all got really, really close. So it was a great experience altogether. We got to, meet new people, be with people who are like us. Great experience. Had lots of fun.
And what did you learn?
What did you
learn? Oh, you sang a lot of Adele.
Lots of Adele.
What about bringing out your own songwriting? What happened there, and how did that particular environment help?
Well, before, I never really knew where to go with my music. And, I've written quite a bit in the past, but, I didn't know where to take it. Our first night there, we got to learn a lot of, different structures and different ways to write songs.
Some of the sort of technical side to writing. Yeah. And what is it about nature, Megan, that why is getting out into a natural setting so conducive to creativity as opposed to, sitting in your bedroom in the city or something?
I guess it would probably vary from person to person to some extent, but for myself, I've always felt really drawn to nature. And actually, there is a study on creativity and nature connection as a part of this program, too, and that's being led by researchers at Campion College at the U of R. So hopefully they can tell me a bit more about that, too. I've always found it really inspiring. And not always for very literal things, I'm not always looking for direct metaphors or anything like that, but I mean, just being out, especially in the prairies. I'm such a prairie kid.
Yeah.
Just being out in the open space. It's very vulnerable landscape, and I just try to transfer that over to my songwriting, and I find it really, really inspiring. And people did speak a bit about that too on a couple of podcasts. We had a gentleman who does the Sascapes website came out, and he interviewed folks too. So that's also something that you can hear on the Sascapes podcast as well. And I should just also mention too that the funding was provided by Environment and Climate Change Canada.
All right.
And there's a temporary exhibit. Yay! At the Royal Saskatchewan Museum too, called Nature Inspires, that people can check out this weekend as well.
Kieran, what is it? Was it something really different for you? And how did the whole being inspired by nature, how did that affect you?
Well, like I've always really had like that part of me with nature. I've always been one to prefer being outside and like being around nature. And I feel like it's a great way to be like creative because
just getting away from all the noise. Hey?
Yeah, just separating yourself. There's like less distractions. You get to like see where everything is, how everything is. And
yeah. And I liked too what you said about not necessarily being literal, Megan, about, okay, now I'm going to write about trees and water and birds. It's not that, right? It's something different from that. So the concert is this Saturday night. What's that going to be like? Bringing it all together, all of you, the students and you guys who taught them. What's it going to be like?
Well, I think it will be fun. This is our first time ever doing this. So it'll be interesting to see because we've always, like, for the most part, spent most of our time playing music at Last Mountain Lake. So now we're bringing it into the city. And
what can people expect?
People can expect some new original songs where the majority, if not all of the song was written at the Last Mountain Lake headquarters.
Okay. And one of those songs we're going to play right now is Hourglass. Who wants to tell me about Hourglass? Set it up for us.
I can take it away.
Megan, take it away. Oh, she said Megan, take it away. Not I can take it away.
Well, we both wrote it. Like everybody wrote it. This was a group
Everyone
song.
in the group, we all wrote it. So.
And it's basically like inspired by how the site itself acts as like kind of like an hourglass for all of the birds. So and it brought us all together too in that space. So it was a fun time writing that. We wrote it in like 3 hours or something.
2 hours.
Yeah.
Hour and a half.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that sounds better. We wrote this in an hour and a half.
We wrote it in 5 minutes. Well, I can't wait to hear it. And thanks so much for coming in, you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having us.